In a quiet corner of a busy world, one young artist is turning passion into purpose. Meet Katie Gibbs, a college student, a dreamer, and now a first-time business owner.
So there was one painting that I did one day when I was just bored. I really just had nothing to do and just felt like picking up a paintbrush and just painting. And I did a lighthouse scene with an ocean nearby. And I ended up, after I finished that piece, I thought to myself, well, that was kind of fun. And I didn't really hate the outcome of it. So I was like, let's just keep going. And yeah, it's kind of how I ended up here.
And she did keep going, until sketches became more beautiful mountain scenes and she gained a passion for those amazing landscapes.
So it's kind of really just what I started doing. I tried other things. I've tried, like animals and things like that. It didn't feel as right to me as, mountain landscapes. Plus, I've just always been drawn to mountains. So it's just nice to, sort of put that onto canvas, like my imagination on canvas. I love mountains. It's very, it's very not easy to do, but you don't have to be as perfect with all the details that you make in it. You can kind of just go with the flow, and nature is imperfect, and that's sort of why I love it.
And there's no eyes or faces or anything.
Right. No symmetry, which is not my strong suit.
Yeah. And then, with a spark of courage, she turned her art into something more, a business of her own.
I think I kind of always wanted to sell my artwork. I just sort of didn't take the steps to do it until I would say I progressed in my skills a little bit more. I feel like my family has been a big supporter in that journey as well. They've always encouraged me to start selling my art, and I just always sort of thought that it wouldn't go anywhere. And it was a big investment and all these things. It was a big task. It was daunting and scary, but I just decided to do it one day, and now here I am. I worked retail for a couple months. I worked at a little boutique, and I learned all the ins and outs of Shopify during that time at my job. And so I think that encouraged me and, gave me enough confidence to start my own Shopify business. It was really fun to do. I mean, there's always logistics that are challenging when you're starting a business, legalities and stuff like that. But I think Shopify makes it really easy. So, if you ever wanted to start a business, do it with Shopify. I turned to YouTube as a main source of, information on how to get started. I watched a lot of vendor markets that people had done, first-time vendor markets especially. And that gave me a lot of good tips and tricks. There's things that you can do, like a little spin board for discounts and stuff like that. But to prepare, I really just made sure I had enough inventory, figured out how to purchase inventory, and then just sort of use some props and things like that I had around the house. You don't want to spend too much money on your first vendor event just because it's more of a learning curve. You don't want to, end up putting in more than you get out of it. But it was a really fun experience, and I would say I definitely made it worth it in my first event, for sure.
It is so inspiring to see someone chase after their dreams and goals. And speaking of goals, the last question I had for Katie is, what are one short-term and long-term goals you have for your business?
I would say the short-term goal would be just do as many markets and gain as much experience as possible. I mean, I've really only done one so far, but I'm hoping to grow in my knowledge of how to do these vendor events and, perfect my skills with that. I think long-term, really, it's just about continuing my passion for art. I never want to lose that passion with, life and jobs and school and, in the future, having kids one day. It's going to be a lot. And I think art is something that I always want to stick to. So creating a business out of it and really pursuing it long term is more about continuing my passion of painting and making art. Okay, you can go follow me on my social medias. I have an art Instagram page. It's Katie_Gibbs_art. And then I also have a TikTok as well. And that's going to be Katie.Gibbs with 2 S's 290.